Hey, it's the normal playing guy, and guess what? We have this nice video. So Team Bardock, the squad leader, finally gets his EZA. That's nice. So we'll have a look at him, see how he compares. So one thing, don't expect a mega thing, and for sure, one thing I must also state, he's going to be exactly like this, except it's just going to say Bardock, and even the super attack, it's just going to be the same because they're free to play, designed around the teams, so you can expect it's basically just going to be the same thing. But we have finally a fleshed out leader fully for this guy, so we're going to have a look to see what we have now. So rather annoyingly, it's not 170%, but then again, neither is Ginyu. But we do now have 4 key 130%. So yeah, so we have 3 key 100% of stats, which is nice considering it's an LR, and even well, it's 100%. I mean, for the longest point, you were sitting at 90%, which was this. Now we have this number. We can finally get the the full deal. So we're sitting at 13,000 defense, just shy of 18,000 attack, and not a bad amount of HP, which is really good. Could be good. 50% to stats on super attack, which greatly raises attack and defense, and your 18 key greatly raises attack and defense. That's a 50% raise. And superclass allies by 30% for the turn, 30% attack for the turn, which is really nice. And that will actually, by the way, carry over to the following turn if you are in slot 3. 1 key up to 5 and 20% stats to 100 per Team Bardock ally on the team. So you can basically have 200% to your stats, which is really nice. Additional 50% defense and additional super attack when there is a Bardock, Team Bardock ally in the same turn. That might be the only new thing. Superclass allies, 50% to stats, no key. You get an additional 1 key plus an additional 20% stats for all Team Bardock allies. Okay, so Team Bardock is getting 70% and 1 key, which is really nice. If there is another, which you will run him alongside this, this is huge because you likely will have them in the same turn, and for which 50% defense and a guaranteed super attack, which greatly raises. That's really nice. You don't strictly have to go for the 18 key because either one gives you either one gets you the 50% buff. This might be one of the more new things because we have a look at Ginyu. He has a little less actually start of turn. And then he has this as well. So this one, so rather than 10%, it is now, is it 20? So it's now 20 and it's up to 100 instead of 59. It's Dream Class Allies and then one for Ginyu. So that is now 50%, and this is 1 key 20%. So you get slightly extra, more or less balances out the same, doesn't it? It's a little less. The only real reason this might be like this is only 59 and this is only 10, not 20, and this is not 100 and this isn't 50 is probably because it's 2022 versus 2024, and there's been a bit of a power creep since then. But again, like think about this: greatly raise, 30% attack for all allies. So it's built heavily around the same. We all knew when this guy EZA first, we all knew that the Team Bardock was going to be basically the same thing. It just would be. It's nice to see that there is, it's kept up with some part of power creep. Just goes to show the difference between the 2 years that has happened. But yes, so it's dialed up a little bit, and then this is totally new. So that's nice. This would be really huge, especially with the fact that it gives you a guaranteed super attack. There is a Fighting Legend Freezer event coming out in the next few days, and for sure there's going to be a Pure Saiyan / low class warrior kind of build out with this, for which you'll be able to really rock quite well with like this guy if you have him. The AGL bar, this guy gets his EZA and will be a full 170% for that as well. Also for revenge, by the way. But yeah, then of course, by having the extra defense and having this would be immense. And honestly, the Bardock squad, is going to crush. I'm not kidding. This guy can get upwards of what 300k. I've seen this girl get upwards of 400k, and then this guy, he has damage reduction per Bardock squad, Team Bardock squad, and he can seal and he greatly raises. And depending on the amount of orbs, he gets a chunk of stats. So he could be extremely useful. But yeah, so the Team Bardock squad is no joke. So it could be really good. With a potential, you could see the old units, the old the old him, this, no, not him, no, the older units. I think, her and him in particular. You could see them potentially have an easy A. Maybe the older Team Bardock squad could have an easy A. So we're talking Tora, we're talking, this guy Bora, we're talking Shugesh. Oh no, he's Shugesh, he's Bora, Fasha. The older ones could really do with an easy A. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they had an easy A area. I could see that. This being 70% one key versus basically 60% no key it just goes to show the extra key would be nice. But yeah, so pretty much that. So as Team Bardock goes, it's probably still one of the worst teams going. It is very free to play heavy. Yes, if you have the Tech Bardock, he would be good because he runs storied figures at 170, and that would obviously qualify. So there's that. Yes, you would probably want Tora and Fascia, the int and the physical, respectively, because them two, on the right team, they get a lot of buffs, allow them to build up, and they really are actually quite strong. A few other notes, like this guy could be really good as well. And this guy, along paired with him, they both get their stacks and they can both stun and seal guaranteed in their respective, depending on how you depending on how you build them. And then here's the original 5 squad, which could potentially easy A. But yes, so it's still a weak category, but I like what they've done with this guy. Right, it's basically simple, and it's kept up with today's modern creep. But again, I particularly like how you actually do it. It's because it's a super easy event. They've made it dead easy. Again, there's 6 stages. I think everyone logged in and got one. Every time you complete the stage, you're easily going to get 1 or 2 copies. It's so easy to just get the amount. No more where you have to choose between the small lane, the medium orb lane, and the large orb lane. It's just no more of that crap. It's a couple of moves and you're done. There's an alternate lane. Again, a couple of moves and you're done. And it's Towser. And then you come back and defeat whichever respective person that it is. So it's super easy, and the missions are dead easy as well. And you just the missions are like, do it 5 times. You got to build up links, which for me was an issue. So essentially, what I did was I swapped them out for level 80s. I basically just put the SSRs in, because the grind links for you veteran players, mine is basically max level, so it wasn't going to happen. It doesn't have to be that event, so long as those specific units do get link levels. They got to go up by 5 altogether in total. Could be anywhere across all 7 of their links. For which case, if you rock the SSRs and just throw them in, you'll get the links, no worry. So 5 times, get 5 links for each of those, and I think there might be one other, I can't remember, but that's basically it. But yes, so it's super easy to do, and I like it, and this seems pretty reasonable. I like this, which is really nice. There is no free-to-play build-up for this. You will have to use standalone Kais, because he dropped as a standalone LR. Like this is his only form. There's no TUR, there's no SSR. It is this. So you will have to use Kais, right? But yeah, that sounds good. What about links? So we get team, but well, basically you'll get them all. But we're talking 2 key 10%. We're going to be talking 2 key 5%. 2 key 5%. Legendary power could come in from time to time. And saying raw you'll get quite obviously, and that's a nice bit of attack, and you'll get that with, well, basically every single one of these. So yeah, that'd be great. Could he have a value? Probably. Team Bardock, sure. Low class warrior, yep. Giant 8 power, storied figures. Space traveling warriors, maybe not. That's probably more extreme, but storied figures could definitely get a nice buff on this because again, you could legitimately rock that team now, and it could potentially work. So that's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this video. Nice and short. You can grind this out. Doesn't take terribly too long, but yeah, it's more just the links. But again, you can always just cheese that really because the SSR also works. Right. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.